Hey everyone, ready to level up your finances?
Yeah, we're going deep on side hustles today.
Side hustles, using them to reach financial freedom faster. We're looking
Exactly.
at Texto Colado, Chapter 9.
More money in less time.
It's all about side hustles, and man, are there some inspiring stories in here.
It's not just about a little extra cash, though, right?
Right.
It's about building this, enterprise mindset.
Okay, enterprise mindset.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean for side hustles?
It means always looking for ways to make money,
Okay,
no matter how small.
okay.
And then you reinvest that to grow it even more.
So it's like that snowball effect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You start small and it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
The book has this table
Oh, yeah.
showing how much a side hustle can change how long it takes to reach financial independence.
And it uses these multipliers, like 25x or 30x your income.
Yeah, to show how much faster you could reach your goals.
It's really amazing how much of a difference a side hustle can make.
Even like $500 a month or $1,000.
Yeah, even that can shave years off how long it takes.
And that's if you're investing it wisely,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Okay, so the book starts with this story about Matt.
Oh, yeah, Matt.
He's this 25-year-old graphic designer,
Yeah.
but he's making $200,000 a year walking dogs.
Walking dogs.
Yeah, walking dogs. How is that even possible?
Well, he was smart about it.
Okay.
He noticed that a lot of people needed someone to walk their dogs.
Especially in cities
Especially in cities.
where people are busy and don't have time.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's the demand.
Yeah, and he was one of the first to really get into that.
So he had like that first mover advantage.
Yeah, before everyone else started doing it.
And then he was smart with his marketing too, right?
Yeah, he used social media and partnered with local businesses to get the word out.
So it's like a combination of seeing a need, being strategic, and like you said, that whole enterprise mindset.
Yeah, he saw an opportunity and went for it.
The book has a ton of examples like that.
Oh, yeah.
Building websites for law firms,
Mhm.
flipping domain names.
I saw the one about flipping vintage cars.
Oh yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah, mopeds and those Volkswagen vans.
It seems like there are endless possibilities.
You really are.
And a big theme is shifting from working for someone else to working for yourself.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it.
So what are the advantages of working for yourself?
Well, when you work for someone else, your income is usually limited.
Right, you've got that fixed salary.
Yeah, and you don't have much control over what you do.
But when you work for yourself,
You can set your own rates, choose your projects, and grow your business how you want.
so it's all about autonomy and flexibility.
Exactly.
But doesn't that take a ton of time?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
People think they don't have time for a side hustle.
Because everyone is already so busy.
Right. But it's not about finding more hours in the day.
Okay.
It's about using the time you have differently.
So it's about like a time optimization strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you give us some specific examples?
Well, the book talks about mornings,
Yeah.
how productive they can be.
yeah. Like imagine getting 2 and 3 hours of work done before you even start your regular day.
That's a good point.
Then there's evenings, weekends,
Okay.
even those little bits of time, like when you're commuting or waiting in line.
So it's about maximizing those small chunks of time.
Yeah, and being intentional about what you do with them.
That makes a lot of sense.
And then, of course, as your side hustle grows, you can start to think about scaling it.
Scaling it.
Yeah, bringing on other people to help.
Okay. But wouldn't that take even more time?
Well, we can talk about that later.
Right.
But first, let's talk about passive income.
Oh, yeah. Passive income.
Making money without actually working.
That sounds like the dream.
It's definitely appealing.
Tell me more.
So it's about building something that generates income even when you're not actively working on it.
Okay, so like creating an online course
Yeah. Or writing an ebook.
that people can buy while you're sleeping.
Exactly.
But is it really that easy?
It takes work.
Okay.
You have to plan carefully and put in the effort. So it's not like a get-rich-quick scheme.
No, not at all.
And the book talks about focusing on enduring needs.
Yeah, not fads.
Okay. Can you give an example?
Well, some people build businesses around Google's algorithms.
Okay.
And when those algorithms change, their income dries up.
Because people aren't finding their stuff anymore.
Right.
So it's about creating something that people will always need.
Exactly.
What are some examples of passive income ideas that will last?
Things like online courses, ebooks, drop shipping,
Okay.
even apps or software.
So things that solve a real problem for people.
Yes, and that are likely to be around for a while.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture of side hustles.
And how to find the time for them.
But what about the first step?
Yeah, how do you actually choose the right side hustle?
The book has this 4-step framework for that.
It's really helpful.
So before we dive into that, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back to help you find your perfect side hustle. Welcome back. We're diving into that four-step framework to help you choose the right side hustle.
And it all starts with you.
With me.
Yeah, with knowing yourself. The first step is about your passions and your skills.
Okay, so it's not just about chasing trends.
No, it's about figuring out what you love and what you're good at.
Okay, so two lists.
Yeah, one for passions and one for skills, and then see where they overlap.
Okay, makes sense. But what if my passions aren't like business ideas?
You might be surprised. Think about it. Skills can be learned and markets can be super specific.
Okay.
You know, the book mentions this guy who loves base jumping.
Like jumping off cliffs with a parachute?
Yeah, and he turned that into a side hustle.
Wow. Okay, so even something extreme like that.
Exactly. You just have to find the right angle.
Okay, so passion is important.
Yeah, but it's not everything.
Right. You also need to know if people will pay for it.
Exactly. And that's step 2, evaluating the money-making potential.
So this is where we do our research, right?
Yeah, you need to understand supply and demand.
Okay, so like if there's a lot of demand for something and not many people offering it,
That's a good sign.
like Matt with the dog walking.
Yeah, he had that high demand.
But what if it's a more competitive market?
Then you need to stand out.
Okay, so how do you do that?
You could specialize.
In what way?
Well, let's say you're a web designer.
Okay.
There are a lot of web designers out there.
Yeah.
So maybe you focus on a specific type of website,
Right.
or you offer something extra that others don't.
So it's about adding value and finding your niche.
Exactly.
So how do you know what people actually want?
You can do some simple market research, like
Right.
online surveys,
Okay.
or using Google Keyword Planner to see what people are searching for.
So those are like free tools that anyone can use.
Yeah, and you can also do what the book calls secret shopping.
Secret shopping for market research.
Yeah, basically you act like a potential customer.
Oh, okay.
And you check out your competition.
To see what they're doing.
Yeah, their pricing, their services, how they treat their customers.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's a good way to learn without spending a lot of money.
Okay, so we've got our passions and skills.
We've analyzed the market.
Now we need to figure out how much to charge.
That's step 3. Pricing, making that first sale and maximizing your earnings.
Pricing can be tough,
It can be.
especially when you're just starting out.
Yeah, where do you even begin?
Right, there's so much to consider.
Well, the book lays out 6 key factors that influence pricing.
Okay, 6 factors.
Yeah, so first there's skill level.
Okay, so the more skilled you are,
The more you can charge.
that makes sense.
Then there's demand.
Like we talked about with Matt and the dog walking.
Exactly. High demand means you can charge more.
Okay, what else?
Competitor pricing.
So you need to know what others are charging.
Yeah, you want to be competitive but also value your own work.
Right, so don't just undercut everyone.
No, because you want to build a sustainable business.
Okay.
And then there's adding value.
So giving people something extra.
Yeah, like a free consultation or a satisfaction guarantee.
So they choose you over someone else.
Right. Then there's perceived value.
What does that mean?
It's about how people see your product or service.
Okay.
So building a strong brand and telling your story.
So it's the whole package.
Yeah, the experience, the feeling people get.
Okay.
And finally, there's the client's ability to pay.
Meaning some clients can afford to pay more.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But it still seems hard to set the right price.
The book gives some good advice, though.
Like what?
It says you should charge what you're worth.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to push back if a client tries to lowball you.
So be confident,
Yeah, and remember you're building a business.
not just doing favors.
Right.
Okay, so pricing is important.
Yeah, but you also need to actually get those first clients.
So how do you do that?
The book talks about using your network.
Okay, so friends, family.
Yeah, and colleagues.
Okay.
Then there are online communities.
Like Facebook groups or forums.
Yeah, and also having a professional website.
So people can find you online.
Exactly.
But what if I'm not comfortable putting myself out there?
It can be scary. But the book says storytelling can help,
Okay.
like sharing your passion and why you're doing this.
Because people connect with that.
Yeah, they want to know the person behind the business.
So be authentic.
Exactly.
And once you get those first clients,
You need to wow them.
give them a great experience.
Yeah, go above and beyond.
So they tell their friends.
Exactly. Word of mouth marketing is super powerful.
And then you can ask them for feedback too, right?
Yeah, to see what you can improve.
So it's a constant process of learning and growing.
Yeah, and eventually you might start thinking about scaling your side hustle.
So hiring people.
Yeah, that's step 4.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so we're back and ready to talk about passive income.
Making money while you sleep.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah, but it's not as easy as it sounds.
Oh,
It
right.
takes work and planning.
Right. The book says it's not a get-rich-quick scheme
Yeah, you have to be strategic about it.
and focus on those enduring needs.
Not just fads that come and go.
Okay, can you give me an example?
Sure, so think about education.
Okay.
People are always looking to learn new things.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you create a course or an ebook that teaches something valuable,
People will buy it.
yeah, even years down the line,
Okay, so that's more stable than something like...
a business based on a social media trend.
Right, because those can disappear overnight.
Exactly.
The book talks about other examples, too.
Yeah, like drop shipping or creating your own products.
So how do you get started with passive income?
It's similar to what we talked about before.
Okay,
You need to find a need and create something that fills it.
but with passive income,
You're trying to create something that works without you having to constantly work on it.
so you put in the work up front,
Exactly.
and then it generates income over time.
Yeah, that's the idea.
But it still takes a lot of effort, right?
It does. You have to create the product, market it, and set up all the systems.
Okay, so you're juggling a side hustle and building passive income streams.
And maybe you have a regular job, too.
How do you manage it all?
It comes down to time management,
Like we talked about before,
finding those pockets of time and using them wisely.
and prioritizing tasks.
Yeah, you can't do everything at once.
And what about when your side hustle gets too big to handle alone?
That's when you start to think about scaling.
Hiring people.
Yeah, the book says to start small,
Okay.
maybe hire a freelancer for a specific task.
So you don't have to do everything yourself,
Right, and as you grow, you can bring on more people.
but choose carefully.
Yeah, find people who believe in your vision.
Those are the ones who will help you succeed.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot.
From finding the right side hustle to scaling it and building passive income.
But there's one more thing we need to talk about.
Taxes?
Right. Because no one likes to think about taxes.
But they're important.
The book talks about keeping good records,
Yeah, tracking your income and expenses.
so you can take advantage of those deductions.
Right. And as your side hustle grows,
You might want to set up an LLC.
for legal protection and tax benefits.
Okay, so it's about being organized and informed.
And maybe talking to a tax professional.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We've talked about passions, skills, markets, pricing, scaling, even taxes.
It's been a lot of information.
But hopefully it's been helpful.
Yeah, I think our listeners are ready to start their own side hustle journey.
I hope so.
Any final words of advice?
Just take that first step.
Yeah.
Start small, experiment, and learn as you go.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
That's how you learn.
I love that. So embrace the hustle, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next big success story.
We're cheering you on.
That's all for this deep dive into side hustles. Thanks for joining us.